Tell us about who you are and where you're from.
I'm Bayo Bello. I'm from Ekpe, Lagos State, Nigeria.
Tell us about your ancestral lineage and the importance of the heirloom that we're discussing today.
Besides God, the other person responsible for me to be in this world was Oba Kosoko. He was the king of Lagos twice. The first time he reigned, he was deposed and he was exiled in Badagry with Chief Akinpelu Posu. Chief Akinpelu Posu happens to be my mother's great-great-grandfather. So he went back to Lagos with Oba Kosoko and he became one of his major warriors, his chief warriors. The other warriors were Oshodi Takba and Balogun Agbaje. So while he was in Lagos, and he took over kingship again from Oba Akitoye and defeated Akitoye and took over the kingship. And then the British and Akitoye now ganged up and fought against Kosoko. So the second time, and he was sent out of Lagos, and the second time he was exiled in Ekpe. And he went to Ekpe because Oba Awujale, at that time of Ijebu Ode, was in control of Ekpe, and that was Oba Fidikpote. So he invited Kosoko and his people. So everybody went there with him. Oshodi Takba, my Akikbelu, it now became Akikbelu Ikposu while he was in Lagos. And they all went with Kosoko to Ekpe. So another person that was with him, Oba Kosoko, while he was in Lagos, before he was deposed the second time, was Adetela Adeyemi. He was the son of the Alaafin of Oyo Atiba Atobatele. So they all went to Ekpe with Oba Kosoko. Now Oba Kosoko now left Ekpe and settled in the outskirts, a place called Ojuoto. It's now called Lekki, but it was named Ojuoto by Oba Kosoko. So while they were at Ekpe, the same Awujale, Oba Fidikpote, that brought Kosoko into Ekpe, he was deposed from Ijebu Ode also. So he came and exiled, brought his family and exiled at Ekpe too. So what happened was, when he was at Ekpe, great-great-grandfather that I mentioned, the first Akinpelu Ikposu. Akinpelu Ikposu's great-granddaughter was my mom. Oba Kosoko's friend that I mentioned earlier, Adetela Adeyemi, who was the son of Alaafin Atiba Atobatele. While in Ekpe, Adetela Adeyemi's son, Bello Damola Adeyemi, gave birth to my grandfather, my paternal grandfather. And my grandfather married Oba Fidikpote's daughter. So my father, his father was the son of Alaafin, right? The descendant of Alaafin. And his mother was a daughter of Oba Fidikpote. So that's how I'm from the royal family in Ijebu Ode and also the royal family from Oyo. Now, what happened was, while my great-great-grandfather Adetela Adeyemi, when he was with Oba Kosoko in Lagos before they went to Ekpe, they sent a message to him from Oyo to come back to Oyo to become the king. But by that time, he was already a Muslim. And so his Muslim name was Yakubu. So he turned it down and said he was a Muslim, that he couldn't be a king, right? That he wasn't willing to give up Islam for the kingship. Because back then, in those days, you couldn't be a Christian or a Muslim and be an Oba or be a king. He respectfully declined and asked them to go and give the throne to his junior brother. His junior brother was the Alaafin Adeyemi I. Alaafin Adeyemi I was the grandfather of Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III that just passed. Ikubaba Yeye. So in a nutshell, that's my ancestry. So again, the Oba Fidipote's daughter married Oba Adeyemi, Alaafin Adeyemi's grandson or great-grandson. So in a nutshell, Alaafin Adeyemi's great-grandson married Oba Fidipote's daughter, and they had my father. And my father now married the great-granddaughter, Ikposu. And what happened was, after the truce was set to Kosoko to come back to Lagos, he decided to go back to Lagos, and Oshodi Takpa, one of his warriors, went back with him and Balogun Agbaje. But my great-great-grandfather, Chief Akikpelu Ikposu, he decided to stay in Ekpe. So when they got back to Lagos, but some of the members too went back to Lagos, some of his family members, but he decided to stay. So when they went back to Lagos Island, all the houses that they had then, they had been occupied by other people, and they didn't have anywhere to stay. So the governor then, the British governor, was Glover. So Glover appealed to a Chief Aromire who owned lots of land on Lagos Island in what's now called Isaleko. He owned lots of land there. So the Governor Glover now appealed to Aromire to allow the returnees from Ekpe to settle in that land, in that piece of land. So that area was now called Ekpe Tedo. In other words, those who went to Ekpe, they've come back here to settle down. So that's why when you asked me initially where I was from, I said Ekpe, Lagos State, because we're from Lagos Island also, because we still have a family house there. We have a family house at Ekpe, but the ancestry of my father is directly from Oyo, and my mother, from her mother's side, is from Badagry. So for my 60th birthday, I decided to honor my ancestry with the outfit that was passed down through generations to me, the heirloom. So my father passed it on to me when I was about 12 years old, and he said it was passed down to him by his father, and then his father's father passed it down. So I'm thinking our outfit is probably at least maybe about 200 years old. Not sure if Adetela Adeyemi, my great-great-great-grandfather, got it from his own father, who was the Alaafin Atiba Atobatele, but I know definitely that it is at least 200 years old, and I've had it for 48 years. I've never worn it. I only tried it on once when my dad gave it to me when I was 12 years old, and I've just secured it here with me. I brought it here with me, and I remembered it. Occasionally I'll remember it, but I never really thought about doing a tribute with it. But recently, I decided I was going to look for it, and clean it up and wear it for my birthday. So in essence, that's the story of my life. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure.